I love people, yo. I think people are amazing. And I just got back. But as I'm standing in line, right, I'm feeling like the lady at the front counter, she's taking forever because she's helping this other elder lady. They're both elder ladies. So I can understand them, moving a little bit slow and taking their time, but she's explaining what she has to explain to the lady, and she doesn't need to rush for anybody else in the line or anything like that. She's doing her job. But I can feel the energy of the people in the line, how they're impatient and they're getting tired of waiting. The way that the lady had to keep on explaining over and over to the other lady that she was helping, and I'm just laughing because I'm realizing how evolved I became when I decided that acceptance was my deliverance. When I decided to just accept things for what they are, I kind of inadvertently taught myself how not to take in other people's energies, because I remember I used, like, the reason why I was laughing is because I used to be in the lines and I used to be impatient and I used to be wondering, like, I'm working on patience, but why do I still feel so impatient? But I was not alchemizing, but I was absorbing other people's energies, and I realized, like, I had stopped having to, you know, accept and soak up other people's energies, and then having to alchemize it and having to work through it and having to feel in myself like that's me, or I have a problem that I now have to deal with, or I have an issue that I now have to overcome, or I have a yet another obstacle that I have to jump over, but it's not my obstacle. It's not my shortcomings. It's not my fears. It's not my energy. It's somebody else's. And I was absorbing it because as an empath, your heart is already open. So people that see your light and they see your shine, they know that your heart is open. Some people take advantage of it, and some people use it to their advantage. And they let you know you're a good listener. They let you know that you're an empath and your heart is open in different ways than saying your heart is open and you're an empath. They tell you you're a good listener. They tell you it's easy to talk to you. They tell you you're a strong person. They start asking you, like, how do you do what you do, because you've been through so much and you overcame so much, and you still got a smile on your face, and you still being nice and kind to people, and you still, you know you seem so happy-go-lucky. And when they get to know you, they realize that your life is really, you know you find things to be happy for instead of finding things to be angry about, and finding things, like, I don't understand how people can live their life in stressful situations and then spend their time complaining about the stressful situations that they're living in. And they, you ultimately, um, you put yourself in certain situations, and sometimes when you don't put yourself in certain situations, there's ways for you to get out of situations, but sometimes people are lazy, and sometimes we're too weak, and sometimes we feel like, you know that's not gonna work, or there is no way out. But as I was, standing in the line, I was realizing, these people are mad. Like, I could feel and sense and, like, kind of, in a sense, taste their energy, because once you can smell certain scents and you can smell certain people, that's their energy. Come on now, like, that's their energy coming out of them, and you're able to sense them with your senses, right? So when you when I was, smelling and sensing everybody's energy, it was just making me laugh, right? Because I wasn't sweating, I wasn't feeling nervous, I wasn't feeling anxious or anything like that. I thought about a beat, and I just started, beating the pan on my hand, and then tapping my foot, and just ignoring everything that was going on around me, and just focusing on, you know this ain't gonna be that long. It's not gonna take that long. It really didn't take that long. It never takes that long. That's why they say it's all in your head. The people that standing in line thinking that, oh, this is taking forever, they just wanna be in rush, because sometimes when you get stuck in a rat race, you just stuck. you get stuck in drive mode where you never get into neutral mode, and you never get into park, and you never get into rest. Some people is just drive and reverse, drive and reverse. So it's either you're going forward or you're going backwards. Sometimes it's good to just put the car in neutral and just let the car coast while you know, just recover a little bit and then put the car back in drive. Or sometimes you can pull over, put the car in park, take a break, enjoy the scenery, get out, have a picnic, put your foot in the grass, sit in the grass, take a swim, do whatever you got to do with your personal life, and then get back on the road. You don't always got to stay on the road and stay on the path and this, that, and the third. As long as you're focused on what you got to do and you're focused on where you're going and you're focused on what you got to accomplish and achieve and overcome, it's only a matter of time. You can speed the time up or you can slow the time down. Don't stop the time. Don't try to stop your process or let anybody stop your progress, right? You can slow it down, right? Take a breather, right? But then don't forget that you got to continue on. You got to continue forward, right? Fall forward, right? So you, like Denzel said, you fall forward so you can see where you're going, right? I say fall forward because at least you can, you know, continue going forward. So when you get up, you fell forward. So when you get up, you're in a new position. You're in a new spot. So you're getting back up and you're standing back up, not in the old place because you didn't fall backwards. You fell forward, right? So see it like that. So working on patience, you don't have to alchemize all the energy that's around you. In order to alchemize anything, you got to accept it, and then it has to be inside you, and then now you got to turn it into something. Instead of you focusing on creating, now you're focusing on transmuting and taking in everybody else's energy. That's why I try not to focus on talking too much. I try not to focus on having to explain myself too much. I try to say as little as possible, and that way I say a whole bunch. So that's why I can release all these videos and not having to speak and talk for a whole hour, when I can get all that talking and all that stuff done while hitting certain points. And then that's why I always say everything comes full circle. You connect the dots, right? And when you connect the dots, sometimes it makes a dragon, sometimes it makes a snake, sometimes it makes a moon, or sometimes it makes a sun, sometimes it makes a cloud, whatever. You just got to connect the dots, but it all comes full circle. Patience. Sometimes when you're standing in an area and you're an anxious person and you're a nervous person and you don't like being around people, put yourself in a position where you're in a new space with people that you don't know and the people that don't know you, and then see how you feel. If you feel the same way in a room that you're accustomed to being in, and then test that same feeling in a new room with new people that you don't know. Like you just go into a new restaurant or something like that, and you just, you go to order something to drink, or something to eat, and while you're waiting for your food or while you're waiting for whatever you're buying, you just sit there and you focus on your energy and you focus on the energy around you. And when you focus on that, you'll be able to realize that it's not you that's the problem, it's the people around you. And the only problem that you have, like, you're not the problem. The problem that you have is the fact that you accept all this negative energy that's around you. Even if you accept positive energy, your brain only knows energy. So once that energy comes in, you're going to perceive it as that's negative or that's positive, right? And then once you tell yourself that, then you start getting those anxious feelings and those, feelings of, all right, now I want to get out of here, now I want to leave because this, and that. But once you calm yourself down and you calm your mind down and you just continue to tell yourself, you're okay, you're good, that's the only thing that you have to say. And after you say that, the energy that's around you is going to start feeling different to you. It's going to be the same energy, but you're going to start feeling different about the energy that's around you. It might make you laugh because now you're not accepting somebody that's talking to somebody else about what they have going wrong. You're not accepting somebody's energy that's crying about a heartbreak or a loss. You're not, accepting somebody's energy that's bullying or talking about somebody. You're just seeing their energy for what it is. and letting it be what it is. You're not letting it intervene with your energy, and you're not accepting it into your energy field, right? And you're not letting it break through your energy field. Even if somebody come up to you and they try to talk to you, or they try to belittle you or be negative towards you, it's not going to affect you because you already told yourself you're good, right? So anything outside of you now, it has to have your permission to come in because you already said you're good. So you're good within. So anything else outside needs your permission to get in.